Welcome to Alpha Centurion. I'll be your guide. Today we're going to be looking at 5 more questions for atheists. Atheists and Agnostics, I guess. Now, I noticed that YouTube is dying. I noticed that my channel is dying. I noticed that this kind of conversation is no longer popular on YouTube anyway. So why even make this video? Well, because I've noticed some stagnation in the last few years when it comes to dialogue and it comes to apologetics, especially between atheists and Catholics. When I started this channel, there were very few Catholics on YouTube doing apologetics. There was mostly evangelical pastors, and a lot of them were not really well educated, so I had no problem dipping my toe in when my channel got shadow banned and just going crazy and just having fun. But thanks to the School of Apologetics through Catholic Answers, Catholic Apologetics has kind of taken over YouTube. And they're doing that as YouTube is losing popularity. Anyway, not important. What is important is that stagnation has led to about 5 or 6 issues that just keep on getting repeated, and nobody answers the questions. And those questions are hell, whether or not it's just or not. The other question is on the legitimacy of the Bible, mostly talking about the authorship, inerrancy, and people arguing for or against inerrancy. And they're speaking on LGBTQ issues, and then on literalism and what literalism actually means, with Catholics having one definition of literalism, Protestants another, and atheists like this absolute literalism. I'm going to break down some barriers here. And these questions do not imply my personal belief system. That's not what I'm doing here. These questions are not going to tell you what my personal opinion is on hell, our authorship, biblical authorship, our inerrancy, our LGBTQ issues, our literalism. I'm just simply asking some questions to cut through some of the stagnation from the last 3 years. Okay, so question 1, on the objection of hell. If someone going to hell, whatever you think hell is, was truly just by whatever your definition of just is. And here, so that way there's not any confusion, what I'm meaning by just is that only the unrepentant criminals of the worst kind would even be eligible for hell, i.e. serial murderers, serial sexual abusers, and those who willfully physically torture the innocent. The rest would be given a simple choice at the end of their life, either heaven or oblivion, depending on their eligibility for either. Would this erase, or at least ease, your current objection to hell? Question number 2, on the legitimacy of the Bible. If the Bible were accurate by modern scholarly standards of history, would it matter who the authors are? Again, I am not making a claim that it's accurate. I am not talking about the Catholic claim that each book is a different genre. I'm not doing any of that. I'm simply asking, from your point of view, if the Bible were accurate by modern scholarly standards of history, would it even matter who the authors are? Okay. Question number 3, on inerrancy. If you found out that inerrancy, as understood and defined by American Christians, and specifically those Christians in evangelical and fundamentalist circles, was not the way most Christians throughout history understood the Bible, and that even today most Christians in the world don't view the Bible that way, would that change your opinion on the reasonableness of Christianity and its adherents? Again, I'm simply asking questions of the objections I've been hearing constantly or consistently over the last 3 years as Catholic apologetics have become more popular. Question number 4. If it was demonstrable that Christian morals and ethics required adherent Christians to love, respect, and care for homosexual, that is the LGB, and for transgendered individuals, and for child orphans, and the homeless, and widows from its foundation, that means from the foundation of Christianity, up to today, would this change your view of Christians from negligent, fearful hate mongers to diligent, courageous, compassionate individuals? Let me simplify that, just because I know that I used a lot of wording there. An objection that we hear a lot, or that I hear a lot, about Christianity, and this is from the staunch atheist, is that Christianity is actually hateful and fearful, and that Christians themselves are negligent of people's needs. So the question is, if it turned out, and I'm not saying it does, I'm not saying this is true or false, I'm saying for you, if you found out, and it turned out provably, that the Christian ethic from its foundation was to love, respect, and care for homosexual individuals, for transgendered individuals, child orphans, the homeless, and widows, would this change your opinion on Christians to a more positive one? Okay, and then finally, question number 5, on literalism. If I could show you that Christians and Jewish people from the oldest records up until the Reformation, and the majority of Christians up until the advent of American Puritanism, did not read the Bible as absolutely literal, but instead viewed each book as its own genre, with its own tropes and allegories, much like epic poetry, that contained and transmitted truth through narrative, would this change your opinion on the intelligence and reasoning skills of the average Christian? Now, note, on the question on inerrancy, I hit very hard that I was not talking about genres. Here, I am, on literalism, I'm asking about if it turns out that each book is its own genre, and that not every book is meant to be taken literal, and that there are signs, literary signposts in the text that tell you what's supposed to be literal and what's supposed to be epic poetry. If that's in the Bible, and I can prove it to you, would that change your opinion on the intelligence and reasoning skills of the average Christian? Because there's a lot of bad faith and a lot of bad blood that happens when atheists are speaking among themselves on their own channels. You seem to really concentrate, from the channels that I've watched, they seem to really concentrate on the lack of intelligence and lack of reasoning skills of the average Christian. We're not talking about the top scholars, we're talking about the average Christian. All right, those are my 5 questions. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if you are someone who still has a YouTube channel. I know a lot of people don't anymore, but if you still have a YouTube channel and you're an individual user and you want to answer this, please do. Go ahead and put your link in the comments down below, and I will approve them as fast as I can, so that way you can share those videos and that way people can watch and interact.